Nobody put it there. That was the first thing that bothered Karen. She stepped outside that Tuesday morning to grab the mail, and there it was, sitting right on the wooden step, propped up against the post, like someone had set it there on purpose. A doll. Old. Maybe from the 1940s or 50s. The kind with a hard porcelain face and painted-on features. Its skin was a dull yellowed white, cracked in a few places along the cheeks. The hair was real dark brown, human-looking, and it hung past the doll's shoulders in two uneven sections. It was wearing a white dress that had gone gray from age, with small black buttons running down the front. The eyes were the worst part. Glass eyes, dark brown, almost black. And the way they were angled, slightly downward and to the left, it looked like the doll was staring directly at the front door. Karen looked up and down the street. Nobody was out. No car was pulling away. No kid was running off. Just a quiet suburban Tuesday morning with birds in the trees and a slight chill in the air. She went back inside and told her husband, "Dave, probably a neighbor kid left it," he said without looking up from his phone. "Which neighbor kid?" He shrugged. "Throw it away if it bothers you." Karen stood at the front window and looked at it for a moment. There was something about throwing it away that felt wrong, like she'd be doing something she couldn't take back. She couldn't explain that feeling. She just left it there. That night, their daughter Lily, who was 8, pressed her face against the living room window after dinner. "Mom, the doll is looking at me." "Dolls don't look at people, baby. This one does." Karen walked over and stood beside her. The doll was exactly where she'd left it on the porch step. Same position, same angle. The porch light was on, and it cast a yellow glow over the doll's face. It did look like it was staring at the window. "It's just the way it's positioned," Karen said. "Come away from the window." Lily did, but she kept glancing back. That night, Karen woke up at 2 inches the morning, for no reason. Just opened her eyes, wide awake, heart beating a little too fast. The room was dark and quiet. Dave was asleep beside her. She lay there for a minute, then got up to get water. She walked through the dark hallway, past Lily's room, toward the kitchen. She didn't turn on any lights. She knew the house well enough. She filled a glass at the sink and stood there drinking it, looking out the kitchen window into the backyard. Then, she heard something. A soft sound, like fabric moving against wood. It came from the front of the house. She stood still and listened. It came again, a slow, dragging kind of sound, coming from the porch. Karen told herself it was a raccoon. It was always a raccoon. She walked slowly to the front of the house, to the window beside the door, and looked out at the porch. The doll had moved. It was no longer on the step. It was now at the far left edge of the porch, right in front of the living room window, sitting upright, facing the glass. Karen's breath fogged the window. She stood there for a long time, not moving, staring at it. Then, she went back to bed and didn't sleep again until almost morning. She told Dave about it over breakfast. "You probably just didn't notice it had moved," he said. "I noticed. I looked right at it. Karen, Dave, the doll moved." He gave her that look, the patient, tired look, and she stopped talking. She didn't want to have that argument, but when she went out to the porch that morning, the doll was back on the step again, exactly where it had been the day before. Same angle, same position, eyes facing the front door. She stared at it for a long time. Then she took a photo of it. She didn't know why. It just felt like she should document it. 3 nights later, Lily started having nightmares. She came into Karen and Dave's room at 1 a.m., crying, saying there was a woman standing in her room. "There's no woman in your room, sweetheart." She was right by the window. She was in a white dress. She kept tapping on the glass. Karen's skin went cold. She walked Lily back to her room and checked everywhere. Under the bed, in the closet, behind the curtains. Nothing. She sat with Lily until the girl fell back asleep, then went to the window and looked down at the porch. The doll was directly below Lily's window. It had moved again. It was now under the second floor, positioned right beneath the window where Lily slept, and its head was tilted back, face pointing upward, eyes aimed at Lily's window. Karen's hand shook when she grabbed the curtain and pulled it shut. The next morning, She went outside to throw it away. It was gone. She stood on the porch and looked around the yard. Nothing. She checked behind the bushes, around the side of the house. The doll was just gone. She felt relieved for about 6 hours. Then that evening, when Dave came home from work and opened the front door, he stopped. Karen. She came to the door and looked. The doll was back on the step. Same position, same angle, same black eyes aimed at the door. Dave stared at it. "Okay," he said quietly. "That's weird." He picked it up with 2 fingers, like he didn't want to fully hold it, and dropped it in the trash can in the garage. He tied the bag, put it in the big outdoor garbage bin, and put a heavy box on top of the lid. "There," he said. That night, all 3 of them heard it, a sound from the front porch. Just after midnight, a slow rhythmic knocking. 3 knocks, then silence, then 3 more. Dave grabbed his phone and turned on the flashlight. They all 3 walked to the front of the house together, Karen holding Lily's hand tight. Dave opened the front door. The doll was sitting on the porch step, not in the garage, not in the trash bin. On the step, same position, same dress, same dead black eyes. But this time, both of its arms were raised slightly. Not all the way up, just lifted a little, like it was reaching forward, like it was asking to be picked up. None of them spoke. Dave slammed the door shut and locked it. Karen called her mother the next day. Her mother was the kind of woman who believed in things. Old things. Spiritual things. And Karen needed someone to talk to, who wouldn't look at her the way Dave did. Her mother listened to the whole story, without interrupting. When Karen finished, her mother said, "Don't let it inside. Whatever you do, do not bring it inside the house. We're not going to bring it inside. I mean, don't let it find a way in. Check your windows. Check your doors." "Mom, it's a doll." "Karen," her mother's voice was flat. "That doll has been watching your family. It's been learning the house. The layout, the windows, where each of you sleep. That's what it's doing. Once it knows everything it needs to know, it's going to come inside." Karen laughed. It was a nervous, hollow laugh. "How do we get rid of it?" Her mother was quiet for a second. "I don't know. But not the trash. It already showed you that doesn't work." That night, Karen couldn't sleep at all. She lay in bed listening. Around 3 a.m., she heard the sound she was starting to recognize, that soft, dragging sound from the porch, slow and patient, like something that had all the time in the world. She did not get up to look. But in the morning, she went outside and checked every window on the ground floor. The window in the laundry room was open a crack. She always left it open a crack. The room got humid from the dryer. She'd done it for years without thinking. She closed it and latched it. The doll was at the base of the laundry room wall, right below that window. Its head was tilted up. Its arms were at its sides. Its mouth, the painted, thin-lipped mouth, looked slightly different than she remembered. The corners seemed turned up just a little, like it was smiling. Karen had not noticed a smile before. She took the doll in a cardboard box, drove 40 minutes out of town, and left it in a dumpster behind a strip mall. She drove home, went inside, and double-checked every window and door in the house. That was on a Friday. Saturday morning, it was on the step. Sunday, Lily said the woman in the white dress was back, standing at the window, smiling this time. Monday, Karen sat on the kitchen floor at 2 a.m. and cried. She didn't know what it wanted. She didn't know how to make it stop. She just knew that whatever was inside that doll, whatever presence, whatever thing, it was patient. It was methodical. It had been watching her family night after night, window by window, learning everything about them. And it wasn't leaving. It was waiting for the right moment, for one window left unlatched, for one night when everyone was too tired to check, for one door left open just a few seconds too long. She looked up at the kitchen window. The doll was right outside, face against the glass, both arms pressed flat against the window, and it was definitely smiling now. Karen grabbed Lily, woke Dave up, and the 3 of them left the house right then, at 2 inches the morning, and drove to her mother's house. She does not know what happened to the doll after that. She's never gone back to find out. But here's the thing, and this is the part that still keeps her up at night. The house they rented after they moved out? The new family that moved into their old place? They found something on the porch their first morning there. An old doll. Porcelain face. Dark brown hair. White dress. Black eyes. Aimed right at the front door. They thought it was cute. They brought it inside. If this story got under your skin, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and tell us your scariest experience with something that shouldn't have been where it was. And if you want more stories that will make you think twice before looking out your window at night, subscribe, hit the bell, and come back. We post every week. The next one is worse than this.